Welcome to another Ascension football show, and we are showcasing the Ascension Invitational Tournament of the Trinidad and Tobago. And today we have on set Police FC with the head coach, Mr. Hood.
We anticipate, right? It's going to be a difficult year.
Before that, what time, that drought, that first person talk.
A few years ago, we had a meeting with the then acting commissioner.
As I said before, we're interviewing Police FC, one of the top clubs in the professional league, taking part in the Ascension Invitational Tournament of Trinidad and Tobago for 2022. We have with us Mr. Hood, Mr. Richard Hood.
That's right.
Head coach of Police FC. Pleasure
Yes.
to have you here today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I want to get into it right away.
Sure.
In 2019, pre-COVID-19, we'd have seen the upward movement of Police FC winning the FCB Cup and having a good showing in the Pro League.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit. What kind of challenges do you foresee in 2022 coming back out from the pandemic?
I think the major challenge is it relates to vaccination. It relates because we have a few players that we would have lost, not too willing to be vaccinated, right, for one reason or another. The other thing, of course, is that we would have lost effectively 2 years of football, which would have seriously hampered the development of many of our younger players, right? So coming out of inactivity for 2 years, to get them back onto the pitch and get them back into the professional training regime, has been a bit challenging, right? Of course, these players weren't doing anything for a while, so their bodies, weren't quite adaptive to the physical demands of the game. So of course we would have had 1 or 2 injuries as well. So these are more or less the kind of challenges that face us. Yeah.
But you think you could push past that to have a good showing in the Ascension tournament this year in terms of, because you'd have done well in 2019 as well in the Ascension tournament.
Sure.
So what's your benchmark for this team this year in early days?
Well, of course, we wouldn't have entered the tournament if we didn't think that we could have done well, right? For us, we as you mentioned, we are on a upward trajectory in terms of performances. We are now a bit closer to being rather than a team playing in the Pro League, more of a professional team existing in the Pro League. All right, we are closer to that. So it's about instilling the professional ideologies into the players and stuff like that. We anticipate, right? It's going to be a difficult year, I think, right? Because we have a number of new players, and like I mentioned previously, we would have lost some of our players that have been with us for some time. However, we believe that we will be challenging for silverware.
So
basically.
I want to get some history on Police.
Sure.
Police FC. You would have won the 2019 FCB Cup.
Yes.
Before that, what time that drought? I heard persons talk about a drought of silverware. I know you're looking for silverware this season, but before that, let us understand the history of Police FC somewhat.
All right. I think Police FC would have formed back in about 1975, and we had a few good years winning the National League at the time. We'd have won the FA Cup at least on 4 occasions as well. However, the last national title we'd have won then would have been in 1994, while I was still a player. I think what would have really hurt us was the advent of professional football, right? Prior to that, police and army would have been viewed more as the professional teams, because basically other teams players would have had to go to work and then come and train in the afternoon. Whereas we could have trained in the morning, we could have trained anyhow we wanted, because by virtue of our professional.
Yeah.
All right. When the Pro League came into being, all right, and teams were now professional. Players were now being paid to play football. They could have trained their teams how they wanted to train, etc. The problem with police is that we still had to work, right? We still had to play football and then go and work, or come from work, going to play football,
Yeah.
And really in a professional environment, that really could not work. All right. We have always had talent in the service, but to find the consistency needed to perform at that level to win tackles, we couldn't do it. All right. It just was not possible. All right. A few years ago, we had a meeting with the then acting commissioner, Mr. Stephen Williams, and we pitched an idea to him, all right, which afforded us, the more of a luxury in terms of working up in a particular section, and that would have given us the opportunity to train the way we wanted to train. All right. He bought into the idea, all right, and the majority of the team, I think basically at the time, the entire team would have been transferred to the community policing section, all right. We were able to really better organize ourselves to compete at the professional level, and I think that would have been one of the main reasons why we started to see better performances and better results on the Irish team.
When we get back, I want to take a short break, but when we get back, I want to get in a little more in terms of the personnel of the team.
Sure.
So when we get back, we have a further discussion with Mr. Hood about police and the players, if they're civilians or only police officers, after the break.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival, if you'll interview him, eh?
But how could you defend one shot, one kill?
What, you want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Get in the game with Ascension. Quality for champions. Ascension! Ascension! Premium quality and style make you stand out all the time. Ascension is quality for champions. Ascension fit is always right. Take your game to higher heights. Ascension got the quality for champions. So everybody say, hey, oh. We wearing Ascension when we play. To run out on the field in style. What's the brand that we want? Ascension. 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 We wearing what we wearing is Ascension. Quality for a champion. Ascension. We wearing what we wearing is Ascension. Quality for a champion. Ascension. We wearing what we wearing is Ascension. Get in the game with Ascension. Quality for champions.
Amante Del Cafe is located at Magnificent Mall, number 271 Southern Main Road, McBean, Couva. Amante Del Cafe. Happiness begins with brew.
My name is Ryan Frederick. I'm a midfielder and I play for Central Soccer. The biggest challenge is to try and finish in the top 3. It will be a tough tournament, but we come to give a good show and show everyone how much good players we have in Central here. Central Soccer has answered the call and Central Soccer is ready.
Ascension Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Out fishing with the boys. Or a fun DDI experience with friends. Repairs, secured parking, extensive camera system, boat charters, boat rentals, down the island parties. Contact us at 1-868-634-1653. Ascension Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Life's better on a boat.
I've been doing this job for a few years now, 10 years more or less, and it has always been a pleasure for me. All right, it has had its challenges, but challenges in football is something that we are accustomed to. This is something we live for this. All right, so it has been a wonderful experience. You know, hopefully we'll be able to continue this project for a few years well, and hopefully we'll be able to see continued success as we had in the last season. Well, the most ultimate, of course, is to win titles. All right, so our plan is to win the title. If we fall short, then at least to finish in the top 3. All right, ultimately. Discipline is the main thing. It's not about talent. I always refer to some players that would have grown up with, I would have grown up with over the years that weren't the best talent, but they got to national teams simply by working hard and being disciplined, you know, in what they do. We also try to tell our players, you know, that they have to be mindful that they represent the police service. Right, and therefore, some of the things that, you know, they may have been engaged in the past, they can no longer engage in. Right, and some of the areas that they may have visited in the past as well, right? These things have to now remain in the past because they are representing police. So these are some of the things that we talk to our players about, on a daily basis. The love of the game. For me, it's really fulfilling to see the development of young players, particularly, to see where they have advanced from where they were when they started, and that for me is the most fulfilling thing. So, I really love what I do. I love coaching football. So that's it in a nutshell. The love of it.
Pest control is a pain, but you don't have to go it alone. If you're a business that needs someone who will fix your problems point blank, go with the brand that's tested. Go with Terminix. Born almost a century ago in Memphis, Tennessee, Terminix International's mission has been to spread its innovations across the world through its integrated pest and termite management system, reducing the infestation of pests and vermin. Our Trinidad franchise neutralizes the threat of tropical insects and ensures that companies, from food production to hospitality, protect their investment and get the maximum value from our relationship. And we've been doing it well for over 20 years. Termites and pests are relentless, but they're no match for Terminix. Contact us today for a free consultation and quote, and let's introduce you to convenience. Protect your premises today. Choose a service provider that persists. Talk to Terminix.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Get in the game with Ascension. Quality for champions.
Hey, Ascension! Ascension! Premium quality and style make you stand out all the time. Ascension is quality for champions. Ascension fit is always right. Take your game to higher heights. Ascension got the quality for champions. So everybody say, hey, oh. We wearing Ascension when we play. To run out on the field in style. What's the brand that we want? Ascension! 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 We wearing what we wearing is Ascension. Quality for a champion. Ascension. We wearing what we wearing is Ascension.
Get in the game with Ascension. Quality for champions.
I'm Gordon Pierre, Director Part Owner of Real Westport United. Terry Frennick, he was afraid to play like the Rangers. Angus Eve was afraid to play like the Rangers. But we, the Ron Lafferty trained team, we are ready, willing and able to defend the West against the Lahafita Rangers attack. Westport has answered the call and Westport is ready.
Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At
our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Or out fishing with the boys. Or a fun DDI experience with friends. Boat repairs, secured parking, extensive camera system, boat charters, boat rentals, down the island parties. Contact us at 1-868-634-1653. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Life's better on a boat.
Amante Del Cafe is located at Magnificent Mall, number 271 Southern Main Road, McBean, Couva. Amante Del Cafe. Happiness begins with brew.
And we're back. Mr. Hood, police FC, is it, when you hear the name police, you think it's police officers? Is it just police officers, or do you play with civilians? How does the team comprise itself for tournaments?
All right. In all actuality, we have been playing with civilians throughout the Pro League era, I believe. Within recent years, particularly, the team is actually comprises more civilian than police officers. All right. Unfortunately, the recruitment process has not been what we would have liked. Right. We have a few players who have been with us for a number of years, and with the goal of being incorporated into the service via the SRP system, particularly. But that has not manifested itself to a great deal. Right? We were made a lot of promises by past commissioners, and it just didn't happen. Right? Recently, we had a meeting with the present acting commissioner, and we are hopeful that we'll see the fruits of that meeting very soon. So at present, we probably only have about 6 or 7 police officers on our senior team at the moment.
Wow. Yeah. Winning in 2019, after so you said, 1994 the last title before winning in 2019. What pressure is placed on Police FC going into the Ascension tournament now?
Not too sure, that there's tremendous pressure. I know that, I appreciate that we are now considered to be one of the better teams. And we have to live up to that mantle, all right? But I think coming out of the pandemic, expectations may not be that high, all right? I think also, given the fact that we may or may not be losing a number of our players, all right? But we have to find a way, all right? We have to find a way. We have some new players coming to the team, and we have some young players that would have come through our academy as well, because we have a very vibrant youth system. So we have a number of talented young players that are coming through, and hopefully, they will be able to showcase their talent this year and help us to do well.
So you're not feeling, you remember doing interviews with all the clubs there?
Yeah.
So I spoke to a club, they say they have a squad to settle from a certain finals. They say, so I don't know if you're feeling, I don't know how you would treat with that. You have a target on your back somewhat in terms of defense force. Well, I will see how we are calling names.
Yeah.
So it's a title teams from 2019,
yes.
which you are one. So
yeah.
I think there are teams looking out for Police to settle some scores. So be aware, put your notice.
That's fair. We have that understanding, and these are some of the things that come with winning titles. Obviously, you become a target. People look at you differently.
Yeah.
All right, but I think we are not probably going to be getting off to a fast start, but we will be competitive. I expect that. As the season wears on, right, we will get to where we want to be, and when the philosophy gets into the new players, and we'll be right back up there.
Okay. Some of the big challenges you mentioned, getting off to a slow start. What are some of the challenges you see coming into the league, knowing that we got the green light some weeks ago, and then the challenges with only vaccinated players. What are some of Police challenges within the league?
For us, I would say that we had some bureaucratic issues to deal with. So, although the league was given the green light at a particular time, we weren't able to train at that time. All right, we had to. Our system, we have to apply to the commissioner, and it takes a while, and stuff like that, and then messages has to be sent out to afford us the opportunity to go and train. So that took a while, all right? And then we started to train, and the numbers weren't what we expected, all right? I don't know if players felt that, they needed to see a start date, right? Yeah, but I think in the last week or so, the numbers have picked up tremendously, So for us, the main thing was the preparation time. All right. I would say that as a team, we probably only trained as a unit probably the last 2 weeks. All right. So this is why I said we probably would be off to a slow start. All right. But with each passing day, you have a few more players coming out. You have some new players coming to try out and stuff like that. As we go, it's getting better. It's starting to look a little more organized. So those are our main issues. We have some stalwart players again. Over the years, there's some hesitancy with the vaccination, so we have to move on without them. However, right, we have to ensure that we produce the kind of talent that we want, the kind of product that we want to on the pitch, and so it's just to get the ideology over to the players.
During the pandemic, during the pandemic, with everything going on, how do you stay motivated in the work, knowing that you have your own work meet, knowing we see you motivated with Police FC, we see you motivated throughout the years within the national system as a coach. How do you stay motivated within the sport at this time?
During the pandemic, it was the most frustrating time I would think for anyone associated with the sport at a good level. Right? I consider myself to be an elite coach. You know, we're coaching in the pro league, we're coaching at the national level, and you know, this is something that I really love. That my motivation comes from the love of the sport and the love of delivering a product to the public. All right. So the pandemic was a frustration. I am unbelievably happy to be back out and on the pitch and doing the thing that I love really. And you know, you get that experience from the players as well. You know, they're just really happy to get back out there and play the game. But it was really frustrating during the pandemic.
Pleasure to have you on set, Coach Hood. And that's it for another Ascension Football Show. Remember to follow us on our website, Facebook, Instagram, and at the Ascension Tournament of Trinidad and Tobago.